Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated. And Ireland stands on the verge of war. We have claims to the Duchy of Leinster, which we intend to push on this episode. We've cemented our alliances in Scotland. We have our alliance to Connacht, but I'm not too sure whether they will actually support us or not. Now, as I said, we've cemented our alliances with Lothian. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our sway scheme, I'm going to end that by beginning the process of swaying Cruthur of Meath. So we're going to try and build up a bit of a relationship with him. We're already looking at the end of the war in Leinster. Now we're already seeing that he's actually involved on the losing side of a battle against the tyranny of the King of Scotland. So hopefully that's actually going to come to an end soon. I'll be hoping that is going to end shortly. On the other hand, we're kind of holding off on appointing a new physician, because I'm actually hoping, first of all, to get some money together, but I'm also hoping that our younger brother Cruthur might be in a position to take that court physician position. I don't think so, however. He's not the best. He's not the best. So we're going to hold off for a while on actually appointing a court physician. Here he is. He's not developing any great learning traits. And the figure isn't looking great at the moment. So we do have a couple of good people that we could appoint as our physician. Cahan and Scahach, who are doing a lot of educating at the moment, but they are both diplomatic and stewardship-focused characters, so their learning is good. We've nobody actually who has a good aptitude, so we might have to we might have to do something about that. And probably once we get some money together, I will also put one of my brothers, Diarmid, our potential successor, as one of our bodyguards, just to make some money for him. But for now, we will return to the waiting game. We will wait for affairs in Scotland to calm down, the way our allies can assist us, and we'll see if Cruthur can come of age and not be useless. Our spymaster, Gilliforic, continues to monitor affairs in the Scottish capital, and he has uncovered a secret held by Gillicreast of Srat Éireann. The way in which he seeks pleasure is revolting for any decent man to even think of, and yet he is not merely willing, but eager. It feels so unnatural and sickening. No, it is unnatural and sickening. An offence against God. So, the most important question, does he have money? Yes. So we're going to see if we can basically straight up blackmail him. I was thinking there was going to be very high acceptance for this. We, on the other hand, are known for our dedication to faith. And there you go, we have indeed gained a blackmail hook on him. And we're going to demand a payment. Let's see what we're going to get. We're going to get 50 quid. Absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, we could do other things with this. We could probably arrange a marriage, so we could try and marry somebody in the family to him. He's unmarried and he has no children. His primary heir at the moment is his sister. So there's a couple of different things that we could do here. We could try to actually get some sort of a claim on him. Or not a claim, but we could try to get a member of the Dalgash on the throne. I think we're just going to, with the way things are at the moment, I think we're just going to demand the payment. So that has been handed over. There's a couple of different things that we could have done there. We could probably still try to organize some form of a marriage and possibly have that guy done away with. Let's see, is there any suitable marriages? So there's a couple of our children. It's going to be a long time before anything comes of it. So yeah, let's see about marrying Our son Arthur won't accept because of religious differences. Patrilineal marriage. Okay, so that is a bit of an issue. We could cause some trouble over there. And this war in Scotland has now hit 100%, so we can expect to see that end quite shortly. So it was a fantastic time to get some money, and we're seeing also that Bran, there you go, there, that war has ended. That war has ended. And we shall see if we can get the forces together to begin our own conquest. I'm also just after realizing this guy is actually 72 years of age, so presumably we should start looking at the next in line as the person that we might actually be swaying, because you can imagine once I take this region, how confident we are. If we can take this region, then getting Meade's vassalization would be absolutely fantastic. Oh lord, what's after happening now? Well, I promised you war, but not this one. So, Lothian, I believe, is now declaring war on the king that they just defended. So they're going to war with Donald of Scotland. We will accept. Let's see what the actual scenario looks like to begin with. Okay, so it does look like Donald is going to be overthrown, I imagine, if we can get our forces up there. Look who it is. Our good friend Gillicreast. We're a bit too close to him for comfort there. So we return to Scotland. Why does this always happen in these playthroughs? Scotland becomes an absolute anchor around my neck. And one of the things we are seeing is is this our brother-in-law? It is indeed, has joined in the battle against us. So there are some hefty armies wandering around in that region. We're trying to bring our forces up into the lands of the Dal Noradi, and we will join them together. We're already suffering a defeat in this region. Here is our wife. Is this our primary wife? It is indeed, I think. Leisurely leafing through her papers, I come across something that is undeniably plans against my courtier O'Morone. Is this our primary wife? It is. What is the meaning of this? So possible outcomes: she is truly scheming to kill him, or she is insulted. We need to keep O'Morone alive. Looks like she wasn't planning anything. So we have 900 forces here. If we can get across and join up with that main army. They are in a kind of an unfortunate position, however. So here's the bit of a nuisance. It looks like our brother-in-law's forces are going to attack us. This army just behind them is going to follow. I'm not too sure what these guys are going to do then. What do? Do we stand and give battle? Do we stand and give battle and hope that these guys lift the siege? Or let's keep moving for a short while anyway, if we can. So they are indeed going to hit us. We should actually deal sufficient damage to them to start with, but I think that we are going to be ultimately overwhelmed. So here is somebody that we have had dealings with. We know that this woman was having an affair, I believe, with the ruler of the Isles. I expect Mayor Ingrid would be keenly interested in the information that I've acquired, indicating that her acquaintance, Gulliam, why is the 32-year-old hanging out with a 2-year-old? Was actually sired by Harold. Perhaps she would even be interested enough to offer me something substantial in exchange. She does have a lot of money. So we could sell her the information for gold. We would gain 300 intrigue lifestyle experience. Fantastic. 71% chance. 85% chance that she will reveal a secret she knows. we could get a weak hook on her. That's all going to be worth 50 gold. Let's go for this one. 71% chance that she is going to give us 90 gold. And the lure is too great to ignore. So much potential. We did indeed get that money. So we're seeing a much larger army now just about to swing in and drive us back. And we're taking the long scenic route around. So Thaig has actually been taken prisoner by our brother-in-law. And now we're beginning to see the Lothian's forces moving out. So we got caught badly, and now the King of Scotland has 6,000 troops at his disposal. So this is turning very poorly, if this is indeed Scotland. Let's see what this battle is looking like at the moment. I'm not actually too sure. Scotland has just descended into anarchy. What would one of these episodes be without Scotland in utter flames? What we are looking at, by the looks of it, is here is Donald III of Scotland. Here is his brother Malcolm. And Malcolm is allied with Sweden. And they have just delivered a hefty blow. Malcolm is trying to install himself as the King of Scotland. Malcolm has just delivered a hefty blow to his brother's army, which has knocked a good chunk off. What we're doing at the moment is licking our wounds. We might very well wait another month, get our forces up, and then, never mind, Lothian is going to deal a blow to the armies that hit us. So we're not gonna have made a massive contribution. We might as well start marching back. See if we can siege our brother-in-law's capital. Our spy master is telling us that he can't find any more secrets in this court. I would say at this point in time, we will withdraw him, because we have no idea what the new political scenario up here is going to look like. So there is a hefty blow to Gillibreed's army. He is retreating into... I don't think he's retreating in, I think he's marching into the lands of the Dal Naradi. We might be able to hit him and get revenge for that defeat he inflicted on us earlier. Actually, no, he's just using it to head for Iona. So we're going to continue to march on his capital, and we'll see if we can siege that down, maybe take some hostages. But yeah, at this point in time, I'd say it's pretty much just a matter of trying to out-siege the Swedish. We are told that some religious refugees are seeking sanctuary in our court. Learning isn't the best, isn't the worst. Some good prowess. But unfortunately, we can't take these people, because we will have a mental breakdown if we do, unfortunately. We're going to have to tell them that we have no room for the likes of you. They'd be a fantastic addition, an interesting addition to the court. But we are on the verge of absolutely flipping out. So we're going to have to try and get some money together for a feast. We should actually be in a position to do that, and we might very well do that right away after this war ends. I'm just going to finish off this tree, so we're going for Court of Shadows. And really, I'm just hoping that we actually get to siege something down before this this conflict comes to an end. So Tuavuan is under siege. The Devils, I'd say they have a fairly small army, so I'm not too sure they'll be able to actually succeed with that. We could very well split off our army. Or we could very well just see out the siege, because we're quite close to finishing it. We could send our troops around by sea. They've lifted the siege by the looks of it. We see a number of our vassal armies raising. I'm not too sure what they're doing. They're probably going to war with each other, I think, is the whole thing. They are indeed the Devils. There's an attempt to conquer Loch Lane, so we're being left alone to siege down this area. And Lothian, unfortunately, managed to get in. I was hoping that we might be able to take that area as well, and look who it is. Look who it is. Our old friends, Iceland. has learned that there's trouble in Scotland, so they've wandered in. This is a bit of a problem. I was intending to divorce her, but she has died in our prisons. Our wife, who was trying to kill somebody, died from a seizure. She's been in prison for about 5 or 6 years at this stage. We weren't getting on very well. We've lost 30 stress because we weren't getting on very well. And there goes our alliance in Wales. It's not the biggest loss, but all the same. Leinster is quite powerful and we are taking a bit of a baiting. So we kind of need as many troops as we can get our hands on. Okay. We took a hostage. We took a hostage. That actually hasn't done a tremendous amount for the war score because, of course, the main target is Gary, which is actually under the control of Malcolm the Fourth. Here is our wife. We really hate this Estefina person. Yeah, we're going to share the secret with our wife so that we don't have a... we don't basically regain all the stress that we lost when our other wife died. So we are going to reveal a secret that we have about Estefina. Estefina doesn't have much money, so she's not much good to us. So I don't think that we're actually going to be able to win this war. Iceland is on the move. I don't think we're going to hit the retreating armies. We have indeed. And they're actually doing a very good job, an unfortunately good job. We did manage to kill somebody, but it doesn't look like we're going to take this battle. With only a handful of troops on the field. A second defeat. We did, yes, that's exactly what we were doing. It was a holding action to allow for Lothian's forces to come in. Yes, absolutely. Were we successful? Did we give them enough time? We did not. And we're seeing that overwhelming Swedish army on the move as well. It's going to try and take out Lothian's forces. And probably then begin the process of wrapping up the lands that Lothian has lost. But yeah, that looks like it's going to be a pretty hefty defeat for Lothian's armies, and these are all our allies getting wiped out, allies that we were hoping to use in a war against Leinster. Ochmaron, somebody's plotting to kill him. It was our wife at one stage. And we might actually have to put that guy, and look, oh you divils, don't you dare, don't you dare. I know, Murchad, I know. It's one of those days. So here is that narrow defeat at the Battle of Argyll. Olaf of Ormond, who's not the happiest. He's not the happiest. He wants a powerful position or a position on the council. He might be getting one if there's nobody suitable to replace Murchad. But his retinue killed Alwyn, and in the battle that followed, our brother-in-law... Is this actually our brother-in-law? It is indeed. He's taken off his helmet. But he has lost 2 more troops. So he has lost even more forces. And there is his secondary spouse, our half-sister, who we took prisoner. Fantastic. We took our half-sister prisoner. That's great. Well done. Before we deal with that, we have some missing court members. I'm not too sure which one actually died. Oh god, Olaf is terrible at both matters. I think I'm going to make him our Chancellor. He's absolutely stone useless, but we'll make him the Chancellor. We want somebody good in as our steward, so we're going to put Diarmid in that position. We're leaving you on domestic affairs, so yeah, look, he's happy out now. And control is... So these regions keep fighting with each other. This is our region, so I don't know how it's how it keeps collapsing in control every 5 minutes. Loch Lane, what's going on over here? Who's actually trying to conquer Loch Lane? That war looks to have ended. It ended because it has been seized. So there you go. Murdoch of Desvoon has overthrown the Kerry branch of the family and has cemented his control over the region. Over the years, I've received a great deal of portraits from various noblewomen, both foreign and local, until now. They have mostly gathered dust in some attic. Perhaps I should bring them out and select my new romantic pursuit. I could picture myself with someone new. Or we could be picky about partners for 5 years. Attraction bonus would go up by 5. Go on, yeah. Sure, we're in the middle of a war. Who cares? The portrait is none other than Ximena, the wife of the Sheik of Turtusha. She is said to be serene, but I have also heard rumors about her hysterical nature. So we can favorite it. We can send her a star. We'll keep her in consideration. Yeah, sure, we'll favorite it. Oh, there's more pictures. So we have the Countess of Armagnac. This is who we should be favoriting, I think. We'll keep it in the right pile. There's a war going on. Yeah, we'll keep that in the right pile as well. That was exhausting, but strangely addictive. The worst part was when the adverts came up and we clicked to go right, but accidentally clicked on it, and then it took us out of the portrait app, and then we'd come back. Or if you accidentally clicked the advert too quickly, or if you tried to click the X too quickly, and you then put the next person in the pile. Why do they put adverts in with the portraits? It's really confusing. You get them all in the wrong pile. I only care about winsome Ximena. They're all worthy of my poetry. Yeah, there we go. We only care about Ximena. It's always been Ximena. Oh, there's a war. I forgot about this. Your ankles are like wet mud. I wish only to smooch you, that I may know how you smell. Your wife is evil, but I am implacable. There you go. It's a good enough opening. It's a good enough opening. How do we respond to that? Smiley face. What gift do we send in response to that? Our armies are still standing in Munster. We've just been told that control has been restored in Toirdelbach, so we're going to go for Loch Lane now. Where's Scotland's army gone to? It's up there. They're marching up in this direction. They actually do still have a chunk of troops that they have regained. Here is that overwhelming army of Malcolm's. How's he doing? He's at 70%. So we've lost a ton of war goal progress because all of these regions now are being sieged down. So we are still standing. We do have our army still standing. There is Iceland's army wandering around the place. We're going to see if we can restore control in Loch Lane. What's going on in Leinster? There is a new king. There is a new king, Petty King Murchad. So his grandfather died. He was predeceased by his own father, by the looks of it. Died in a hunting accident. How unfortunate. In 1074. And what way are things going in Connacht? There's Rory and our half-sister. They're still hanging around up there. What way is the forces, actually? They've taken a good chunk of a beating, so... yeah. If we stand down our army, we're not going to be able to stand them up for another couple of months. My spymaster, Gilaforic, rushes into the room and hands me an anonymous letter he has just received. It appears we have a unique opportunity to acquire information about King Donald's defence strategies. If you desire information about Donald's defences, have your spymaster, Gilaforic, meet me in Tuavuan. Within a fortnight, bring plenty of gold. We'll gain lifestyle experience. We'll get that money back some other way. So we will send that. I'm half thinking of, can we ransom our sister? We can, for 50 gold. So this war is lost by the looks of it. Gilaforic has returned with a grave look on his face. He spreads out a sheaf of parchment inscribed with what appear to be my enemy's defense tactics. As far as I can tell, these schematics seem as genuine as they could be. So we could act on the information or disregard. We'll act on it. What could possibly go wrong? We could try to march for the inner Hebrides. The problem is that we're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from these guys, and they're going to pretty much march on us. They're mopping up this entire region now at the moment. Lothian is making a push for the capital. This is the second time that this pop-up has caused me to have a heart attack, or that this man has caused me to have a heart attack. I had forgotten that A had retired as the King of Connacht, and when I got this pop-up that somebody of interest to me had died, I thought, oh dear God, no, our alliance to Connacht is gone. The ruler is dead, and I'm not too sure that we have ties to the successor. It's fine. It's grand. Calm down. The former King of Connacht, after about just under 10 years in a monastery, has passed away. So we would be maybe in a bit of trouble if he was still on the throne. But we'll say thankfully he wasn't. I'm trying to see who the primary heir is. So this is kind of interesting. They're not going for the eldest son, who's a drunkard. I thought he was going to be the king one day, but it doesn't look like it. Look likely. So okay, everything is going fine there at the moment. We do have 900 troops, but we're not going to be able to make a material difference in this war, especially with the way things are actually panned out over here. I'd say we're pretty much going to stand down our army. We did our bit. And I've also seen that our commander just disappeared. Our cousin, our father's cousin, Murchad, appointed Uchmaron to serve us as a knight. He served us and led all of our battles to date, and it looks as though Uchmaron is dead. I was hoping for better, but you know what? He's not the absolute worst. Our half-brother, Crahur, has come of age, so I'm going to appoint him as our court physician. And that will hopefully get him to a stage where his learning will get high enough that he might be able to become our court chaplain at some stage. We're going to wait for the 3 months until our armies can be re-raised, and we're pretty much going to have to push for Leinster at that stage. Most of our alliances are in Scotland. Is he still involved in that war? He is indeed. So it's going to be problematic trying to get those troops to help us. To make Crahur, the steward of Crahur of Meath, more susceptible to my attempts at approaching him, I can include a compliment in my next missive to his court. So we could say his forgiving nature, strength of arm, assertive presence. We'll go for his assertive presence. I'm surprised that his father is holding on as long as he is. So that worked with him. And is he still actually next in line? He is indeed. So Crahur is infirm. 76, same age as A was when he passed away. Damn Scotland anyway, damn them to hell. So Lothian, fair play to them. They're still going back and forth, trying to seize areas. We get our second lifestyle perk, just as we also get 50 quid from our steward, fair play. So we get another lifestyle perk. We're seeing the main Scottish army is way up here. Here is Lothian's army, which is trying to siege back down Argyll. And then we're going to see the regions that we took. They're going to be lost quite shortly. I'm surprised that Sweden is actually staying back, that it doesn't take this area, or that it doesn't go in against Argyll. We will continue down in this direction. And what we might have to start doing... I don't actually have a way of checking now, but I wonder if somebody actually managed to kill Uhmaron. I'm not too sure how he died. He just vanished off the map that way. There were a lot of schemes against him, but he was advanced in age. So I don't think we have any schemes at the moment. I'm not entirely too sure what we're going to do with our spy master. I might send him to another court to find some secrets. Scotland is in turmoil. Most of our allies are not going to be able to assist us, but we are in the best position, the best opportunity to seize Leinster and to stop Connacht's rapid expansion. They haven't grown at all under Rory. He's been quite a conservative and defensive ruler. But yeah, we're going to have to take this opportunity to press our claims to the entire kingdom of Leinster. Now, it's an expensive war in terms of prestige. We've spent 250 to start the war. We're going to spend another 150 to call in Connacht. It looks like they will indeed answer. It's entirely possible that we don't need their support, that we'd be able to do this on our own. We might actually be just about 100 troops short. So Connacht will indeed join. And our culture has discovered horseshoes. One of our forces, very unfortunately, raised on the border. So we actually had to put that point down when there was a rebellion in Toirdelbach, and I couldn't actually raise my troops here, so we raised them a bit close to the border. We'll probably, I was going to say we'll allow Connacht to go in first of all, but they are going in, or they're letting us go in first, and looks like the best person to lead the army is the man himself. So hopefully Connacht's going to follow us, because if not, we might be in a bit of trouble. Leinster is trying to get out. They fail. Okay, that was so fast, I'm not too sure I actually managed to pause the game in time. Right. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. After all the years that we have worried about the strength and power of Leinster and their grip on Dublin, the election of a very young, unskilled and unsuited ruler has seen Leinster fall in a single battle to Munster. We have much more important things than that, though. Here is our primary wife. Some of my councillors believe that the job is theirs by right. After a long day of complaining to Muel Mura, so she is a member of the Gilaforic, she's going to do something about it. So we could give Diarmid some lessons, which will improve his standing with us. We will lose opinion with the other two. So yeah, do you know what? Go off and help Diarmid. That would be fantastic as well, studying scholarship. So Diarmid is going to get some extra skills because he's helping to push up the development in a few regions at the moment. I almost clicked on the wrong one. So yeah. Murchad of Leinster was taken prisoner by Rory of Connacht after he won the Battle of... Thank you, Rory. Thanks. Okay, this time we're not going to make the same mistake as we did the last time. We will enforce our demands first of all. And there he goes, the poor lad. Off, he is our vassal. He has been left as the Earl, and we have taken the title, I believe. Petty Kingdom of Leinster, so be it. Here we can see the newly expanded Kingdom of Munster. We have this kind of buffer zone between us and Meath. Not much of a buffer zone because we have a lengthy corridor then connecting us to Connacht. We're going to need to take Meath soon and push for some of the regions in the north of the island. We do, however, have some very useful new courtiers. It would be wrong to dismiss the Murchad family. So if we look at poor old Earl Olaf, he's not the greatest on diplomacy. But look what we have here. Aina in Dublin. The crown jewel. Both Dublin being the crown jewel and I think Aina as well being the crown jewel. We're going to assign him as our chancellor. That's going to piss off Olaf. We're going to leave Diarmid here. I don't think there's anyone that could actually replace him. But we also have Murchad, who has just been deposed in Leinster. He is a strong vassal, but doesn't have any great skills. So I think we're doing as well as we can at the moment. Here is Donica in Desvuin. So he has become very powerful by taking a second county. He doesn't have any great skills that we can actually use. So that is what has happened in Ireland at the moment. However, matters in Scotland have taken a dramatic turn. So it's kind of difficult to see at the moment, but there we have Scotland's army of about 1,100 in Gary. Marching up, then we have our allies with just short of 2,000, and that giant Swedish army is... gone. So if we take a look at the Kingdom of Scotland, here he is. I have no idea what happened, but Malcolm has been imprisoned by King Donald of Scotland. So Donald has somehow managed to break that roughly 4-5k army that was wandering around. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we've been helping all along. We will swap out the king, and we will have him march on the Inner Hebrides, and we'll see if we can siege one or two areas. And we have become the cultural head. And a faction has been created against us. This is kind of interesting. This was something I was thinking about. Was maybe if on the death of the High King, on the death of whoever is identified as the High King, the next person to be elected High King is the cultural head. So in this scenario, Rory is still the High King. We are now, and we would be now historically regarded as he would be regarded as the High King with opposition. And that opposition is us. That's how they would be described in the annals. On Rory's death, so we've now become the head of culture. That doesn't mean that we become the High King, however. Instead, on Rory's death, what the game would do is it would check who is the Irish head of culture. It's this guy down here. He now becomes the High King. Unless we can actually attack him and take the title off of him. I'm just thinking of ways that you could represent the High Kingship. Because that's effectively how it was handled. Like I've gone over this tons of times before. There was no throne, there was no crown, there was no scepter, there was no anything. The title High King was titular. And you could somehow tie it maybe to the cultural head. Not too sure. Let's just take a very quick look of what we're actually operating on. So we just got horseshoes. We just got horseshoes, and we are currently exposed to chronicle writing. Do we want to become fascinated with that as well to knock it down to 22 years? Or we were on royal prerogative for high crown authority. Or coinage, so that's 48 and 37. It's going to take us a while to get development levels up. I think we might just do this for a while. Stay fascinated with royal prerogative and chronicle writing, and we'll see if we can get the representation up in a couple of areas. We have failed to sway Crahur. I don't think we'll get his father to accept vassalage. I think we could get Crahur to accept vassalage. And we have some factions against us then. We have Aina has formed a faction to install Aina. And Murica has formed a faction to install Murica. I much rather this now, that they actually have factions to install themselves, as opposed to random members of the family. So Murica is the only member of Murica's faction, and Donica of Kildare has joined in with Aina's faction. Okay, look. We'll deal with Scotland first of all if we can. Nothing calms me quite as efficiently as a full glass of mead after a hard day of baiting up Leinster and trying to figure out who should be the High King and dealing with Scotland after any day. I have found that a pint of plain is your only man. We could either... yeah, look, let's become an alcoholic. Oh lord, what's going on here? How do you like the stew, my lord? Mixed in with pieces of vegetables or fatty chunks of meat, and stringy texture interrupted with what looks to be short and sparse fur. When asked about the ingredients, my private cook, Anya, only smiles and tries to placate me. She thinks she can keep a secret from me. 43% chance only. Oh my god, look at... oh, if this woman wants to sneak dead dogs and children into the food with a 21 intrigue, yeah. She's getting them in there by the looks of it. As I enter the kitchen, it lies dark and empty, the air heavy with smoke. In a corner, I find Anya's cookbook, so it doesn't look as though we managed to... or it does look like we actually managed on that chance. 21 intrigue. Do you know what? We could try and produce some bit of a spy master family. We will throw her in the dungeon. We'll deal with this war first of all, and then we'll come back and take a look at that. We are suffering some attrition in the inner Hebrides, and of course that is going to be worrying, because it's going to create a scenario where if we can just get the inner Hebrides done before they bring this war to an end. We did. We got 8 gold. Yes, fantastic. Word has just returned from my forces laying siege to the barony of Islay in my war against King Donald. It's not my war. They report the information we received from the anonymous informant to be genuine. With this inside knowledge of Donald's defense tactics, they were able to take the castle in record... it didn't feel like record time. Victory seems all but assured. So 300 intrigue lifestyle and 50 gold. Well, 300 intrigue lifestyle and 8 gold. And we paid 50 gold. That's not too shabby. You and every commander gains anonymous informant for 1 year. So just as the war is coming to an end, and just as the war against Leinster ended, we got that siege done just in time. Waldave of Lothian has deposed Donald, father of Queen Flora. There's a name we've heard before. And I'm now trying to figure out... oh god. Now that everything has calmed down for a few minutes, we have a couple of things to do with a very young female on the throne of Scotland. That's just going to devolve into chaos again and again and again. So I've sent Gilaforic back to Scotland to see if he can find any secrets there. That's one thing we're going to need to do. The next thing we're going to need to do is to promote the Gaelic culture in Dublin, because I believe it is still Norse. And the other thing we're going to have to do is not fabricate a claim, but convert the heathens of Leinster to Catholicism. That's going to take 4 years. That's going to take 4 years. We'll leave him there for a while, and we'll see if we can get any of that done. Do you know what? It's not causing any hassle. It's not causing any hassle. And if we look at the north of the country, in the lands of the Dal Nara, we have a 14-year-old in power, and in Tir Owen, we have another female ruler in power. So these regions are probably going to see some internal upheaval at some stage, so we're going to create even more internal upheaval. We're going to claim the lands of the Dal Nara. We're going to hope that Crahur will die in the next couple of years. I don't know if I'm in a position to create. I am not. So the three provinces are split between 3 different entities at the moment. One of them is independent, one of them is under our control, and one of them is under Connacht's control. So we're not able to create that title. I thought, no, we're not able to create the title to push our claim for Meath. Order is restored in a lot of places. We're going to be able to defend ourselves. But yeah, getting Meath and getting the lands of the Dal Nara, those are our 2 major concerns at the moment. And I believe that if we can achieve that, it will put us in a position to claim the High Kingship. We made a good chunk of money over the course of the war and over the course of blackmailing people. So we're going to begin a bit of a building expansion in Tuavuan, and considering the amount of complaining that I've done about it in the past, if we didn't build the wetland farms, we'd be remiss. So we're going to get increased tax. Building construction time is going to go down, and for the holding and for the county. And then I'll probably put in walls and towers after that, is what I'm thinking. So we'll go for the wetland farms. So that's going to take 3 years. And although I should be saving my money to get that claim on the Dal Nara, we are a bit worried about our stress levels. So what I am going to do is we are going to hold a feast. We're going to lose 54 stress because we're a drunkard. Being drunk is fantastic. Send out the invitations. A cheery gathering. The guests are gathered in the Great Hall. Welcome, friends. Welcome, new friends. And, of course, yes, this is actually an issue. I forgot about this. Our, Taig. I forgot about poor Taig. It's a tenner to get Taig back. Sorry, Taig. Taig, we're having a party. Come on back. So there was our brother-in-law ransoming Taig out to us. I have to go and check, actually, do we have any more courtiers that are locked up in places? What started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one, thanks to the presence of Earl Gilaforic. We spoke all evening about all manner of subjects, and as things would have it, we seemed to have a lot in common. I had such a good time with him. So this is our spy master, a man we definitely want to keep in our good books, and we grow closer to forming a friendship with him. That would be fantastic. Anya has died in my dungeons. Who is Anya again? Damn. I really need to pay more attention to these dungeons. This is the problem with being a drunkard. You just... What's that smell coming up from the... Oh, no. He gets lost. He goes down to the cellar looking for more beer. Or down to the wine cellar, and he gets lost, and he goes to the dungeon. It's like, oh, no. Oh, I forgot. As, like, he's... This is terrible. This is the worst thing ever. As he's uncorking a bottle. As the feast is underway, and our guests are eating and drinking merrily, Earl Gilaforic approaches my wife, Muelvera, and me at the table. This is a marvellous feast. All my compliments to the hosts. So we could gain some prestige that we have lost from that last war, or we could get household efforts, direct vassal opinion up by 5, and courtier and guest opinion. We definitely want this to try and stave off the Murchads in Leinster. They are not happy at the moment. Sorry, Anya. Anya'd be the great head of a spy household. I'll get onto this right after this war in Scotland. With everyone headed for their respective homes, I am proud to say that the feast was a success. I have my wife, Muelmura, to thank for much of its success, and I feel nothing but gratitude as she sees the last of the guests off. We could try to divorce her. We're in a position where we don't have any great alliances. Well, we have Connacht. We still have Connacht. We'll always have Connacht. Until next time. And so, with our glory widely known, I think that's a good place to end the episode. We did indeed get around to that war in Leinster. And what a rapid conquest it was. Connacht smashing into, I was going to say the main army, but the only army. Basically, Leinster made a bad decision in who they elected. A young ruler who knocked their military strength from 2,000 down to about 900. Now, of course, one of the big problems was the division of Leinster and Dublin. They would both have been held by the same ruler previously, and on his death, Line and Dublin went to 2 separate rulers, so that also probably affected their military numbers, but it left the very powerful, the powerful-ish Munster and the very powerful Connacht in a position where they were able to sweep in and mop up those forces and unify the southern half of the island, roughly Le Moa, under the control of Munster and our new drunken ruler Murchad the Drunken Impaler. Hopefully in the next episode we will see Cruhur die. He's holding on. Fair play to him. He's holding on. He's shoving up in years. Oh, the devil. He has hold of body. The absolute devil. So yeah, he could be hanging around for a while. We're going to see if we can conquer some lands in the northeast of the island, which will, once Meath comes under our control, that will give us a grasp on the High Kingship, and possibly we can then vassalize, Connacht vassalize the 2 remaining territories. And already we're looking at a potential return to Scotland due to the upheaval and the chaos and the anarchy that was caused by that massive war. Lothian, I don't know what the hell Lothian was trying to do. I don't know what. Malcolm would have been a much better ruler. Donald was doing a fine job. Lothian assisted Donald in putting down one rebellion and then immediately rebelled against him. So maybe our alliance with Lothian, these insularists, that's what it is. It's this insularism. It's driving everyone mad. Next time, we will try and shore up the High Kingship and get in a couple of more pints and make sure that people stop dying in the dungeons. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope to see you on the next one.